between messages, hide or put people in timeout, manage messages held for review.
Are we too close or too something? My faces are not on there really. Do we need to go up? Do we need to go closer, or that needs to go down because half of our face is cut off?
Yo, are we... Hold up, there's nobody even watching it. We just started, there's nobody watching it.
Okay. How do you make it smaller?
We're just gonna have to sit back.
See, it cuts us off. Will it show all of us on there, or will it?
Yeah, it's showing us.
Right, we can sit up closer. Does that thing come up higher? Does this move out higher?
Yo, hold up.
Yeah, there it is right there. That's a lot better.
Yeah. So, we're gonna start out by talking about, like, we was gonna do this, like, a few weeks ago, but, my mama was real sick, so, like, well, she been kind of sick, like, 4 weeks ago when we was originally gonna do this. So, tell them what you was, like, how you was doing.
Well, when we were working on the outdoor kitchen, I had a little accident with my uh, lift gate on my van, and it hit me in the head, and it started a vertigo experience that I'm still experiencing, and I couldn't stay out of bed because it went into an extreme vertigo experience, and mostly I was in bed for the last 4 weeks, and it put a stop to the outdoor kitchen we had hoped to be into, cooking, having fun while it was still warm weather, and having our porch finished so we could eat outdoors and have a ball with our great grandson while he was still out of school. But unfortunately, school has started, and we looking at Christmas now. So I guess we'll be doing turkey out there.
Yeah, but ever since like a few years ago, she was on a train and like a board fell on her head and it gave her a concussion and it broke her neck. And like ever since then, she hadn't really, that was like a few years ago, but ever since then, she been experiencing vertigo and stuff. But pretty recently, the lift gate to her van, she was closing her trunk and she pressed a button and it closed, and it closed on her head, and that gave her like another concussion, and so she got like, let's say, like 2 or 3 concussions in like the past, like, how many years? 2, 3 years?
Yeah, and let's see, since 2018, I'd had about 3 concussions and 2 or 3 TIAs because it would send my blood pressure into that. Then I fell, and well, my hip broke, and I fell and broke about 5 bones on the way down. And soon as that was about to heal, well, I had an internal surgery that ended up with a terrible experience with my a ruptured intestine, and so I'm still recuperating from all of it. But I'm 75 now, and I'm doing well, and we're looking forward to new life, new experience, and because
Yeah.
of this one, he's forcing me back into living. And without him, I'd probably be in some nursing home stuck away. But he every day he's like, get up, let's do something.
Yeah.
Let's cook, let's watch some movie I've made. Let's make a movie. Let's go to the store. Let's make a slider. Let's invent something new. And so he's my greatest, uh, I guess he's my greatest reason to be here.
Yeah, ever since she was sick, like I started my YouTube channel and I'd post like 4 times a week, and then every once in a, and every time I make a video, I'd come over here and show it to her, and she really enjoys watching them and stuff. And yeah, and it'd been a long time since I started. I started making videos like 2.5 years ago, and we've really came a long way. I got 97 subscribers and like 39,000 views.
And we're real proud of that because he's still not a teenager yet. He's got a few more months to go now. He's going to be a teenager soon, but he's accomplished a lot from that, and we're hoping to we can talk him into guitar lessons at Christmas. His mom and I are trying to talk him into doing that.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I am pretty good at my guitar. Because pretty recently, I made a few playlists that are like kind of albums. They're not really actual albums, but I made a few songs on there. And one of my favorite ones is called Long Long Rider. That's the favorite one that I made, and it's very good. And the funny thing was, I made it with my old guitar that I got whenever I was 4, and it has 2 guitar strings on it. 2 guitar strings.
But it came out pretty good.
Yeah, and so imagine what I can do with a full guitar.
Well, we're hoping that things change at Christmas. Maybe Santa Claus will be good to him. As you can see, he literally got me out of bed without breakfast. He promised me that I could have my snack if I came on right now. So I'm having a great breakfast of crackers, cheese, and Dr. Pepper.
Well, actually, I already had breakfast because last night I pulled out some deer sausage, and I got my daddy up to help me make them.
Oh, you and Dad, you and he had deer sausage.
Yeah, and biscuits.
Who made the biscuits? Mom.
He No, me and Dad made them
Oh, really?
with
Oh,
with Mom's help.
all right. So you learned that? She's probably a
My
better
dad
biscuit.
learned it too.
I bet he's a better biscuit maker than I am.
No. This is a secret. Don't even know how to make biscuits. That's why my mom had to come in and help us. My dad don't even know how to make biscuits, and my mom had to come in here and help us make them. But they turned out good.
Well, that's good.
It tasted very good. It's already had me breakfast.
So breakfast is champions. It seems I don't get around to eating very much these days. I don't know. I just can't.
But yeah, one thing that we want to talk about first is the Cooking with Eli series that I made. It got about 25 videos on it, and so far, what are all the things we cooked? We cooked bison,
Yeah,
we
that was
cooked
one.
pork chops, we cooked chicken sandwiches, we cooked sliders, we cooked cupcakes, we cooked catfish, bass, uh,
Shrimp.
shrimp. Yeah, that's another thing we cooked. What else did we cook? Let's see.
You made a cake.
Yeah, I made a cake on her birthday. Oh, and we had a very big cookout where we made oysters, shrimp, and what else did we make? Fish and
Yeah, fries and everything like that. Steak fries. We love steak fries, don't
yeah,
you?
it was her birthday. That was like last year, I think.
Right. Well, it's just been a few months ago. It was back in April.
Yeah. But yeah, we went all out on her 75th birthday.
Well, being 75 is an experience that I wouldn't say is for the weak, because you get a lot of experiences that are harder to come back from than when you're 50 or 25. But if you're fortunate and you have great grandkids, everyone in our family seems to marry young. You get to see, I'm seeing my fourth generation. His brother graduated back in May, and he's in college now in North Louisiana. And he was up at the top of his class and got a full ride scholarship. So we're happy with that.
Yeah.
And so
And you want to
now
know?
it's just us.
Yeah, and you want to know something? I graduate in like what? I'm in sixth grade, so
Yeah, you're gonna be you're
6 years.
halfway there.
6 years.
You'll be gone too. So I've got 6 more years with you. And this
Now I'm not going to go to college very far away. I might go to that college down in Lafayette.
okay,
Wait, is it Lafayette or Lafayette?
Lafayette.
Uh,
Yeah. Oh well, you'll be by Bro Bridge, and that's where the crawfish are.
yeah.
Oh, your grandpa and I used to have a lot of good times at the Bro Bridge Crawfish Festival. I'll tell you, you can have some of the best food and best times in the world. Living in South Louisiana
Not
is
just
great.
yeah.
It's great.
Southeast Louisiana.
It is. It's awesome. I mean, I've been.
Even the Southwest Louisiana is good, but Southeast Louisiana is better.
Well, I've lived from Florida to California and many points in between, like Ohio, Mississippi, Texas, and places like that. But I always come home.
Yeah.
Because I like to think it's the food and the family. I don't know which comes first because I love both.
Same.
It's great, and I've always had fun with the grandkids and then the great grandchildren. Um, I mean, it's always been guns and hunting and fishing and four-wheeler rides and things like that. I
Yeah.
mean, we tried living in a subdivision when his grandfather was a baby. It just didn't work for us. It didn't work. It's great for some people, but for our family, they like to go out in the backyard and target practice and teach safe hunting skills on the property and many places we've lived, we go back and kill a deer and come back and dress it and teach the children.
To skin it, cook it, and eat it.
That's right. And Eli had his first experience a little late because of all of us having sickness and stuff. So usually that happens around 6. And
Yeah,
yeah.
but you want to know what I killed whenever I turned 6? A raccoon. But what I don't understand is whenever you go out there hunting with your pawpaws and stuff, we went out there. I went out there hunting with my pawpaw, my grandpa, and what I don't understand is how you gonna look up in a 50-foot tree and see a coon hanging out the with a coon with his butt hanging out the tree, and it's midnight and you can't see a darn thing, and you're already like 85% blind. Like, how you see that and say, oh yeah, that's a coon up there? Like, how? How?
You think he's fooling you?
Papa Tootsie said, you see that up in there? And I was like, are you talking about that branch? And he said, oh no, that's not a branch, that's a raccoon.
Oh, but with them, it was the fun. It was the fun of the riding the four wheelers and the shooting the guns and stuff like that. Well, I was fortunate. I taught your grandpa to shoot a gun. We would target practice where we lived every morning. Uh, we would get like the block of 22s, and every morning we would shoot 100 rounds each. We would take our empties and fill up the 100 rounds back into the box, and then we would put the guns up. and that was our ritual. And that way it was gun safety from an early age. Now at 6 years old we started that, and by the time he was 15 we were still doing it. But it was just automatic that he would take care of his gun and put it up and unload the ammunition and count it, because uh, a lot of people think that they have unloaded their guns, and something can happen, and there'll be a live round in it and somebody could get hurt. And if you're going to hunt and kill your own meat and process it, I think that gun safety is where it starts. And then once you have gun safety, then you can learn to target practice, and that's the easy part, because repetition teaches you that you can bullseye. I mean, we almost were 100 out of 100 within just a few weeks, because you're doing the same thing. But unfortunately, game don't stop for you to kill them always.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're on the run, and that's when you have to have a little bit of skill, and judge distance, and how fast they're going. And that's the joy of it, is can they outmaneuver you, because anybody can go to Sam's Club or Walmart and buy good meat to eat, but
Yeah, but what's the fun in that?
that's it.
But you see, I killed my first deer whenever I was 10. That was like 3 years ago, or like whenever or
It's
something. Whenever
almost three, yeah, because you're almost 13. You just got a matter of weeks.
actually no, whenever I my birthday is December 21st,
Mm-hmm.
and I shot my first deer December 29th,
Mm-hmm.
and so it was 8 days after my birthday.
So
But
8 days after you was 12.
no, it was whenever I was 10, and then I turned 11 December
Oh,
21st, so it
okay.
was like after I was 11.
Yeah, after you was 11. Well, one thing about it, it was the middle of winter, and you
Yeah,
had to go down in a
creek. I had to go down in the creek, and it was 28 degrees. I
and
didn't even have gloves.
it was 6 o'clock in the morning, was it?
No, it was 5 o'clock in the morning.
Was it? And your grandpa went down and he saw it.
Yeah, he went deer hunting without me in the morning while I was sleeping, and he pulled out his binoculars and he looked down in the creek and he seen a big old white belly, and he was like, "Uh-oh, that's the deer that we shot yesterday." Yesterday, but let me tell you something. We went out we went out there the day before, December 29th, the day before we got the deer out the creek, and about 10 minutes before dark, a doe, a small doe, walked out, and it stood there for a few minutes, and I took the shot, but I the deer was like facing me weird, like it had its butt facing me and its face facing me at the same time. And so whenever I shot it in the heart, which I split the heart in half and I got one of the lungs, it went through the heart and lungs, and then it went through like the stomach and came out the other side. And so a little bit of the meat was damaged, but yeah, that's because the deer was facing us weird. But anyways, I shot the deer about 10 minutes before dark, so he gave the deer a few minutes to, die.
So it wouldn't kick you to death.
But yeah, it ran 100 yards total. It ran 50 yards to the creek, and it ran like way alongside the creek. Then it got back down in the creek and started running back to where we shot it for some reason. And it made about halfway back, and it just toppled over in the creek and died. And so we waited a few minutes, and we went out there, and it was getting dark, and so we couldn't see no blood. And so we decided that we had just come back in the morning looking for it. And so we went on back home. But you want to hear something funny though? Before we left to go hunting, you want to know what we told my mom? We said, listen for a gunshot because we're killing one tonight. And so when we got home, my mama saying that my other mama, not my Gigi, my other mama, she was like, y'all didn't kill nothing, and we was like, no, we shot a deer, but it's too dark, so we couldn't track it, so we're gonna go on back in the morning. And she was like, oh really? And I was like, yeah, really. And so I laid on down and then I went to sleep. And then I'm gonna tell y'all from my papa's side of the story, cause I didn't go hunting with my papa in the morning, because it was kind of cold and my papa didn't want to wake me up, so I got some good sleep. But my papa went hunting without me in the morning, and he was hunting at the other spot because we have two hunting stands. He was hunting at the other one that's by the creek. Well, they're technically both by the creek because the creek spans across their whole property, but that was at like the other part of the creek. But anyways, my papa was hunting, he didn't see nothing, so he pulled out his binoculars and he looked down in the creek and he saw a big old white belly in there and he was like, dude, that must be Eli's deer. And so he came on back and he woke me up and he was like, I found your deer. It was in the creek, we gotta go get it. And so I remember that morning it was real cold and I didn't have no gloves or nothing. But yeah, I suited up in 3 layers of camouflage. My first layer, which I called an underwear layer, for obvious reasons. And then the second layer, which is a pair of thin pants and a thin long sleeve shirt. Then I have another layer, which is some thick pants and a thick shirt. And then I have a big jacket and a beanie. And I put some what are they called, coveralls?
Oh yeah.
Overalls. Some camouflage overalls that she actually got me for Christmas a few years ago, but now they don't fit me. I done got a little bit chubby. I gained some weight.
Yeah.
Gained some weight.
Yeah, he wouldn't eat, so we had to put him on eat medicine. So now I think it did a good job.
Yeah.
You can be off it a little while.
But yeah, we went down. We rode down in there the other way, down the ridge, because they have a ridge, which is actually where they buried Serena at. Who here remembers Serena? If y'all was OG and y'all started watching my outdoor channel whenever I first made it, like I introduced y'all to all of the animals, including the hunting dogs and the inside dogs. And Serena was one of them, but she actually died due to well, she got very, very old. All her teeth fell out and stuff, and so we put her down. But yeah, anyways, yeah. But yeah, we buried her on the ridge, but we went down that way, down the ridge, to get to the creek. And when we got down in there, the deer we saw the deer and we confirmed that it was the deer that I shot. And so we actually had to go down into the creek to get it out. And so I remember going down into the creek and it was freezing, and I was wearing some of my papa's gloves. And anyways, whenever I was pulling, I should have. Now that I think about it, I should have took my gloves off before we pulled the deer out the creek, and then put them back on after I got the deer out the creek so we could drag it to the 4-wheeler. And so but anyways, I got my gloves wet when I was pulling it out, and so anyways we pulled it out the creek, and we pulled it to right next to the creek on the sand bed, and we took a picture. It's the legendary picture. I still have it. But anyways, I took the picture of me with the deer, and so anyways, I still have the picture, but I can't show y'all because I don't have my tablet to show y'all. But dude, I remember that, but when we had to pull it back to the
Hair's growing out.
whenever we had to pull it to the 4-wheeler, my hands were super cold and I wanted to go in so bad, but we couldn't leave the deer out there for another day because if we did, coyotes would eat it and so or something. And they actually have some black panthers up there too because my papa seen one, a black panther.
Yeah.
Those are some big cats, and so yeah.
Well, also a bear had been seen right at the state line. They live at the state line in
they got bears.
Louisiana and Mississippi.
But yeah, they got bears, coyotes, wolves, bobcats,
They
and
have a
all of that
sign
stuff.
there. We used to,
Yeah, they have a sign there that says warning, bobcats ahead.
and it has a bear sign too, a little farther up by Natchez.
Yeah, they got bears and stuff in there. So if we left a deer out there for another day, it probably would have gotten eaten. So we couldn't just leave it out there. And the deer was already kind of small, but when we took it to get processed, they told us that we got 97.7 pounds of meat. And at the time, I weighed like 67 pounds. Hey, 6'7"? Nah, bro, that's old. That meme is old. But yeah, anyways.
You weigh more than that now.
But yeah, now I weigh 87.7.
That's how much I weighed when I had my surgery. 87 pounds when I came home from the hospital. But you come back from it. I came back from it. They
But
didn't
yeah,
think so.
I remember how bad my hands were hurting. They were hurting very bad. My hands were literally blue. Like to the point where I couldn't even feel my hands. But my papa was holding one back foot and I was holding the other back foot and was pulling it up to the four wheeler, and we finally got it up to the four wheeler and we put it on the back of the four wheeler, and we was literally going uphill like that. We
And
was
he did.
going top. The ridge was literally like straight up, and I was holding on like that, holding the deer like that, and we was running through the briar bushes and everything. That was hitting my legs. I had cuts all on my legs from them briar bushes and stuff.
And you got traditional blood, deer blooded.
But yeah, once we finally got up, well, we finally got up there, and you want to know what I did? Whenever I got there, I went inside. I took my gloves off, and my hands were literally blue.
Um,
And uh, and I showed Mama Sam, and she was like, "Oh, whoa, 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 whoa!"
we can't have this.
And then I touched her hand, and she was like, "Oh, no, 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 no! Don't touch me!" You know,
Where did you
she
get the
literally
blood?
she literally screamed because whenever I touched her hand and my hands was freezing, so she literally screamed because of how cold my hand was.
Is that when you got the deer blood?
No, I went and we turned on every single heater in the camper, and I went and wrapped up in my electric blanket for a few hours. And then we went outside, we skinned it off camera, and I got bloody, and yeah.
That's the tradition in the family. Little
Excuse me.
piggy. As you can see, we do natural. We don't try to be city. We're country people. And if you come to our house, we've been under construction since the flood because we had the house almost back together, and
Then another hurricane comes
Hurricane
through.
Ida hit after the flood, and a tree fell on the house, and your papa and Uncle Chris were on top of the house cutting a 100-year-old tree uh, oak off of it, and so we've never recovered from that one. We've almost made it. And
Yeah.
then we had the strangest thing. The washing machine lid lock had put like 75 gallons of water in the sunroom, but
Yeah,
I
and
could
it flooded everything.
flooded
The whole
everything
house
again.
flooded. There was like 1 inch of water in the whole house.
But it was enough that it turned over everything, and everything was terrible.
So
We've had
yeah.
the worst luck in this house. It's like the house that refuses to be built. We still have material, like here's material, right?
Yeah,
Everywhere
there's
is
a
material.
there's a mattress back here. I don't know what it's
It
for.
is for all. What it's for when the hurricane comes. I have an air mattress on
Oh.
my hospital bed. I still have to sleep on it for.
Yeah, she still has to sleep on a hospital bed.
And so when the hospital bed comes, we have solar to pump it up, but it's going to go down real fast. And the mattress will, and so we have to
Yeah,
put this one on, and then when we get it hooked up to solar,
yeah.
it'll be
Cause for
fine.
some reason the air mattress, if the power goes out, it'll for some reason it like airs it up, and like if the power goes out, it will stop airing it up, and so it'll deflate, and it'll be just a hard.
Well, the computer to it go down, and then you have to do all kind of things to get it to go back up. So, uh, well, we have to call the company, and I doubt if they'll come out in the middle of a hurricane. So
Yeah.
I just store my other one here for now because we can't get upstairs with that little circular stairway. I took the big stairway out after I knew that I couldn't go upstairs anymore after I got my leg rod because it's a hip leg combo and it don't do that movement, close enough to go up the stairs. And
Yeah.
so
But
I,
after all of that flood, the hurricanes, the storms and stuff, that we still been trying to build back the house, and we got stuff everywhere, all in that room over there, which is the dining room. I can't show y'all because it's a mess in there.
oh yeah,
It's a mess. There's stuff everywhere, but we're still trying to build back, and all of that stuff. It's been putting out on our outdoor kitchen and stuff. So we're probably not gonna get to that this year because. And wait, I just realized something.
what?
It's the 11th month of. It's the 10th month of the year.
Yeah, we might
Oh
have
my
time. I
gosh, it's
don't.
almost time for my 10th shower of the year.
Yeah.
Just kidding, just kidding. I shower like once a day.
Yeah, well, I buy the material ahead. That's what happens, and the material is in there uh, for the sunroom because we're going to have to refloor it, and we can't seem to get ahead because we have to keep doing things. And the straight line wind got the roof on the sunroom, and so it was almost gone, but it's like 48% gone, and Doug asked me if I wanted to keep it or eliminate it and just go ahead and build the upstairs and finish out the upstairs and just quit trying with it. But I don't think so. I'm gonna give it one more try.
Yeah, but some of you are probably wondering why I hadn't really been uploading on my outdoor channel, so let me explain why. So, a few months ago, when like if I'm talking about maybe like a year or two ago or something, well, my papa was having kidney failure, which is actually what my mama experienced a few hundred years, yeah, a few hundred years ago. And yeah, just kidding. Maybe like 10 years ago. She's not
No,
that
I'm
old.
at 18
When you was 18 years old.
when it started. Yeah,
Oh dang! So yeah, 100 years ago.
I'm 75, so it's been a while.
Yeah, 60 years.
But yeah, he got his transplant and he's doing well.
Yeah, but I stopped uploading for a while, and then I made a few video made a video titled "I Got Good News and Bad News" or something. I uploaded it on both of my channels. I'm pretty sure y'all watched it already. Y'all might have, but but anyways, my papa was getting real sick, and he couldn't really take me hunting and fishing and stuff, which I love hunting and fishing. I love them both, hunting and fishing and stuff.
Well, it affected his legs, and he couldn't get him up in the tree stand. That was the big thing. He couldn't get him to the back. He couldn't drive the four wheeler because, unfortunately, if you have problems with your kidneys, it it affects your legs and feet a lot, and it takes the strength out of them, and it swells them, and you get neuropathy and just a lot of things that are not
Yeah,
things you want to think about. But anyway, it does. It's not really safe to go up
yeah,
in a tree stand with your grandchild, your most precious commodity that you have, and then something could happen.
yeah,
So for safety reasons, you can't do it, and it breaks your heart. But at
yeah,
least you did have that experience, your
yeah.
first experience.
Yeah. Whenever I killed my first deer, and but pretty recently he got. But one thing that I want to say is that salt is very unhealthy. Like if you have a whole bunch of salt, like it's very unhealthy for your kidneys and stuff.
And for people like us, it is. For
Yeah,
people like that can have all they want, there was a time we could, and uh, we do know we do enjoy it, but our bodies can't accept it, and
Yeah.
you just have to accept that.
Yeah.
You know, when you do that, well, you're four or five different drugs for it. You
Yeah.
know, you have to take three kinds of fluid pills
Yep.
and two or three, four kinds of blood pressure pills, and you have rescue blood pressure pills, and you know it just becomes too complicated.
Yeah. But you want to know what pains me though? Is that since my mama Carol can't really have salt, uh, like most stuff in stores she can't even have because like 75% of the products in like Walmart and stuff have too much salt for her. So every time I go shopping with her, I'm just used to the first thing that I do is check how much sodium it has.
Yeah, I'll say that you're really really um precious, and you're constant in doing that. That you
Yeah.
always you don't check the calories, you don't check the fat because we don't worry about that. And but you do
I always check
check
the
that
sodium.
sodium. Yes.
Because if it has too much sodium, my mom can't have it because I already told you it's like
I
for
get 300
kidneys.
milligrams a day, so take
Yeah,
that. 300
yeah.
milligrams you can sniff.
She gets that. She gets 300 milligrams of sodium per day, and so she has to eat a whole bunch of snacks like cheese, crackers, and stuff like that. And
Well,
and she has to get certain kind of crackers, the low sodium crackers,
well, yeah.
the
When I
low
have to see, I
sodium
have to
chips.
limit them like
Yeah, like how
two or
many?
three crackers, and it's okay because I don't really eat meals. I just eat little maybe
Yeah,
six little snacks. But I don't miss, you know, food you can eat it for pleasure or you can eat it for nourishment. And I've learned to eat it for nourishment instead of pleasure because a whole cake is not healthy for a person, or a half gallon of ice cream is not healthy for a person. But a
you want
small,
to know what this? Well, who the first person I think of whenever you say half gallon of ice cream?
your dad.
Yeah, back in the day, he was addicted to cookies and cream ice cream, and so he would eat like a gallon of ice cream per week. It was insane.
A night, every night he would
A
eat it.
gallon of ice cream per night.
Your mama would have to get. She just lived for Bluebell. I don't know if we can talk brands, but that was his favorite. I'm sure he ate others, but down south we like Bluebell
Blue Bunny too. Blue
and Blue
Bunny.
Bonnie. Yeah, I ate Bluebell or Blue Bonnie, but I remember when Millennium came out way back in the day. We were way younger and living in another state. We had like 41 acres out in the outback of Mississippi, and we built this real a huge house and a courtyard that was bigger than this house is, and your mom was becoming a teenager. She was just about your age when we during the time we lived there, and of course she was having her first boyfriend. You know, and it's kind of strange to have your first boyfriend when you live out in the like 5 miles from town.
Yeah.
But he lived out in the country too, so he understood that. And of course they would court, and his dad would have to drive him over because they were not driving age. And so he would come over, and his dad would park in our driveway, and he would flash his light and honk his horn for his son and to come out because he didn't want to disturb us, you know, in the house. And so we would die laughing, and we would be watching from the window because we could see in the courtyard, and it was really cute the way that they would be playing and dancing to their music, and you know all the little songs that were popular back then. I think that girl that lived close to us was popular. Let's see what she lived right across the line. It's she had a sister named Jamie that had a TV show, and I can't think of her name. Oh, Britney Spears. They had the same name. It was Britney Spears. Britney had
Yeah,
a.
she was a singer.
And so that Britney and her little friend, I think his name was Dusty, and Britney and Dustin would be doing the little latest dances, and Britney Spears would be blasting, and Chris, your Uncle Chris, her little brother, would want to go out to the courtyard, and he'd be spending the night with us, and so that Brandy, the and Brittany and Chris, Brandy and Chris had a sister named oh, if I get it straight, Brittany and Chris had a sister named Brandy, and Brandy was between them. She was the middle child, so they would put on their swimsuits every night. Just about Chris and Brandy would. They were like Chris was about 4, I guess, and Brandy was about 7. And they would get him a hot tub in the hot tub, or else in my bathtub that had all the these power things to it, and it would. And one night they put the shampoo in it, and they had suds that were coming all the way down the hall to our bedroom, and they were in the bathtub, and they were in their swimsuits, and they got out, and they were sliding, and Chris took a slide in the bathroom, and he slid about 30 feet all the way to the bedroom. He was trying to see Brittany because he heard Dustin's daddy honk the horn, and he wanted to see if Brittany was going to kiss that boy goodnight, because they had a bet if Brittany would kiss him goodnight. I don't think she did. They were just little teenagers, you know. That's the joys of being out in the country. And we out in the country here, but uh, you don't bring little girlfriends here. So, as you told me yesterday, you like older women.
Let's not talk about that.
That was too cute. We're not going to talk about that, but it was.
They're all. Hey, it's okay if they're 2 years older than me. It's okay.
Yeah.
As long as they're not 3 or 4 years older than me.
Yeah. Well,
Is
that qualifies as an older woman.
But not. But
no, you don't want.
But if you think. But if you think that the age difference between you and your crush is big, look at the age difference between your mom and your dad. It's crazy.
Well, I don't know. Your papa was 7 years older than me. He was. He was 7 years older than me.
Yeah.
And he was great. He was a great husband and father and grandfather, and uh, you know, it works out sometimes.
Yeah,
it doesn't always. Not. It depends on the age.
Yeah, but we're getting a little bit off topic here.
Yeah, we are.
So as I was saying, like my papa would take me fishing and hunting like as much as he could so he can enjoy time with me, like cause he knew he was getting like sick, and so anyways he went to the hospital for a few days. But you want to know something? Out of He couldn't really find a match to get a kidney from because his kidneys were very bad and he needed a kidney transplant like ASAP, Rocky Pocky Taki Maki Saki. And but anyways, actually his wife, Samantha, I don't want to dox her full name, but let's just call her Sam. But anyways, she actually donated the kidney, which just proves that they were the perfect match. Like Daryl and Samantha, they were the
perfect match in life.
Well, yeah, see, same blood type and everything.
Well, we're O positive, and we can give to others, but we can't receive. And it's very.
That's the thing about O positives. We can donate blood to anybody, any other blood type, but only O positives can donate to us.
Yes, it's most everything we can. Most, I don't know if it's exactly everything, but most everybody we can donate to. And I guess that was the point I was making about where we were at that time in life.
But
In
yeah,
another place, we've always been out in the woods, and the people we've known have always adapted to the woods and deer and fish and riding four wheelers around the property. Oh, they had like about a mile they could ride around it. It was a road around it there. Now
yeah,
we didn't get to do that here because everybody was older and sicker, and that's the I guess that's the drawback of living and having
but
four
yeah,
generations that you're older when this generation gets here and the things that you enjoyed with your children and your grandchildren you're getting way too old for, so you have to sit on the sidelines and
yeah,
watch, let them watch some of it. So you have to look for things you can do, and it turns into this one found, you know, cooking. He found, he
hunting,
inspired me
fishing,
the outdoor kitchen and idea and different things like
yeah,
that. So it's always something. It doesn't matter where you live, or if you want to be with your family and you want to enjoy times with your family, you can always, wherever you're at that time, find something. If some of the greatest times we have is he'll just break out in a dance step for no reason,
yeah,
just
because I
because
have
he's happy to be
ADHD.
alive.
Yeah, I have ADHD.
He'll just break out in a dance step, or he'll be at the top of the stairway and tease me and tell me he's gonna jump off and give me a
Oh,
kiss.
I remember that. I remember that. I'd go all the way up to the top step and I'd say, Mama, watch out, I'm jumping. And she would be like, Oh, no, you ain't, not on my watch.
But you can be that serious great great grandmother or that serious Gigi, or yes, you can be the one that's having your second childhood with his first childhood. So I chose to do that. Well, I'm going through my second childhood while he has his first one, and so I'm not the one that does the corrections or those things. And if they're looking for that out of me, they don't get it. And I'm the one that if he says let's put an extra scoop of ice cream in here. I mean, we know we're not going to eat it, but we'll put it in there.
Yeah.
Or is he's like, I think I'm big enough to drive your van. Okay, let's see about that. Well, we have
Skirt, skirt.
we have a long driveway, and he was trying to back the van up. He couldn't even see over the steering wheel. He couldn't. He was computer
Yeah,
backing
but let's
up.
not talk about that. I don't want to go to jail.
But
I want to go to jail. Let's not
no,
talk
we're
about
on
that.
private property. You can't go to jail on private property.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do what you want on private property. He
I
didn't
bet.
wreck. He made it through. I'm proud
I
of him.
bet.
What?
I
You,
said I bet.
yeah. But I
But
thought that was
anyways,
good. But
the real reason why I haven't posted a lot on my outdoor channel is because my papa was getting sick, but now he's getting better. And I'm the only person that would actually take me fishing and hunting was my papa because my dad's busy working and stuff.
yeah, he works out of state a lot.
Yeah. I remember way back in the day, he'd go out and work out of town for like months on end. One time he went to Wyoming for like 7 months. I didn't see him for a full 7 months. That's like almost a year. A year is 12 months. So yeah, he was gone for
I
seven
guess we're
months.
gonna have to find a way to get you fishing without your day. I don't know how we can do it, but we're gonna have to
Yeah,
get
I'm
a.
fine.
We'll have to. I guess we'll have to dig a creek out in the yard
Yeah, I'm
and
fine.
stock it, or else. But
You want to know something?
what's that?
Actually, Mama and Papa, they've been talking about getting a little pond. You know how right behind their camper they have that little drop off right there, where where they throw out their old refrigerators down there. you know. But they've been talking about filling that up with water and stocking it with fish and stuff. And so that's actually why Papa bought them ducks right now. Because if y'all wondering, he bought ducks. I made a video about that on our YouTube channel. He got goats, ducks, more rabbits since he killed them. Since me and him killed them all, he shot like 13 of them, and I shot like 4 of them. But yeah, he raised meat rabbits, but we had to kill them all before he got the transplant because he wasn't going to be able to take care of them. And he had to sell all of his cows, which he's going to get more of those soon. But anyways, he bought some ducks, and he been talking about making a little pond. So yeah, we're going to have a little pond and have some ducks, fish and stuff right there, right behind their house.
That'd be great because you're getting to the age now you can put a life jacket on and go by yourself to to a little pond. Before you were too active and too young, but now you're settling in and uh, and it's good to have a little interest. I think this child has more interest than anybody I know. I can't think of anything he doesn't like except maybe sitting still in school. That's probably the only thing he doesn't really like. But other than that, you could just name anything. Oh yeah, I like that. I like to
I
talk
like
about.
hunting. Oh yeah, I like fishing. Oh yeah, I like NASCAR races. Oh yeah, I like playing video games.
But he
Oh yeah,
doesn't.
I like watching old westerns from 1960.
Yeah, he does. I mean, and and he likes these old Hank songs, Hank Jr. songs, and he likes all of it. And I think the greatest thing he likes is to make videos of it because that way when he grows up and he has a family,
Yeah, I could show my kids.
yeah,
I'd
that
say, oh yeah, that's the day I killed my deer right there, right there.
and this is the way we lived. This is the things we enjoyed. This is how we ate. I mean, I think in every family, the old people will want to tell their grandkids or great grandkids that, oh, it was so terrible when I was young and I had to walk 9 miles to school uphill both ways in the snow and, and do chores when I got home. And, but life is not all bad.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, it's what you make it. And I think one of the greatest joys is to know that in the morning or in the evening, I'm going to see this one. This is the last. I have two great grandsons, and they're born on the same day, 6 years apart, and they could not be any different. EJ would not make a video, he would not dance on a video, he would not fish and record it. I don't know of him hunting at all. If he went hunting, I don't
he killed
remember.
a deer whenever he was like 9.
He did just to do the family thing.
Yeah,
It was just because the family expected it of him because he had zero interest. He wants to be a doctor and that's his
and I
interest.
want to do wildlife and fisheries, or I want to be a truck driver. That's my other option, or maybe a chef.
Yeah.
I have 3 main options: one, wildlife and fisheries; two, a truck driver; and three, a chef, because I like all those things.
Yeah, and you will
And you
be.
want to know something? The series is that I made that I'm the most proud of is Cooking with Eli and the Snow Runner series. I just realized something. The amount of videos that I made cooking with Eli is equal to the amount of videos that I made on the Snow Runner. I made 25 of each actually, and
Well,
I'm
that's
still uploading on both of them.
but that lets you know where your interests are at, the ones that you made the most of. And the I think the this one I can take him back until when he was less than 2 years old. I had a pantry section that was devoted to spice, and not being able to eat salt, I would buy every spice that I could get my hands on, and I would try them. Well, he would sneak into the pantry, and he was
You want to know
always
something? I can tell you exactly what why I'd sneak into the pantry. So, my mama would buy this expensive cinnamon and this
a
expensive
Saigon
sugar. Yeah, the Saigon cinnamon and the Splenda and what's it called, the cane sugar.
cane sugar. Yeah,
Yeah, the cane sugar. And I'd mix it and make cinnamon and sugar. And ooh wee, I'd like eating that stuff. But the problem was, I couldn't exactly find where she kept the Saigon cinnamon and the cane sugar and stuff at. But it turns out it was just on the shelf in old Susan. But I didn't know that whenever I was little. And so I'd go into the pantry every day and I'd try each one because at the time I didn't know how to read. So I'd try each one until I find the cinnamon, but I never found the cinnamon. But I'd try the stuff like black pepper, red pepper, crushed red pepper, uh,
white pepper, white pepper.
white pepper, cumin, pretty much every single seasoning she had. I got into every single one of her seasoning. And
Yes,
I dip my finger into it and I lick my finger and I taste each one.
but what it did was it developed a love of spice,
Yeah, it developed a love of spice. And
and
so I started loving all of those spices and stuff. And to this day, I like to put extra seasoning on my hamburgers and
he
stuff.
out seasons his parents. He out seasons everybody we know. Just about he out seasons me because now I can't have as much as when I was younger, and it is so funny is that when he's making his cheeseburger, it'll be a double decker, and we still to this day uh, call it out like when he was little he had it. You'd have to order it at
Hey,
McDonald's.
I'll tell you something. So you want to know something? Back whenever I was little, I liked I liked cheeseburgers, but the thing was, I didn't really like cheese. But I thought whenever I was little, I thought hamburgers was different from cheeseburgers, which they are, cause hamburgers are made with something else. Like they're not actual like beef. Like they're made with what is it?
I don't know. It's your imagination, I think.
But
But he
hamburgers, some type of hamburgers are made with something else that isn't beef,
soy. He's convinced.
soy, and I was convinced that soy was completely different from beef. And so I was convinced that hamburgers was something different than cheeseburgers, and so I would not eat the burger unless my mom said it a certain way. She'd have to say, "Can I have a cheeseburger without the cheese?"
And the lady would say, are you like crazy, lady?" And she would say, "Just go with me." I have a child in the car that's less than 2 years old. He has a problem eating,
Yeah,
and
I was kind of picky, and so my mom would have to say it that way or else I wouldn't eat it.
right, we have to say it this way, and you can catch my drift that we want a double cheeseburger, hold the cheese.
Yeah, hold the cheese.
And so to this day, when we're doing cheeseburger, when we think of Eli every night, my husband loves the sliders from with those filet mignon and the
The prime rib.
prime rib from Sam's,
Sam's.
and so I'll say, do you want a double cheeseburger, holy cheese? And he'd say, give me two of them. I love them so much, but he can't eat them the Southern way because he's Canadian, and
He
this
has to have them
one
the
right,
Canadian way.
this one when he was learning to cook, the last thing he learned to do was the uh, onion, and his parents didn't allow him to use a knife. Well, he could use a knife over here, and so he had this big. Remember the big
The big
Ex-
hatchet,
yeah,
the cleaver.
the cleaver. So I let him use the cleaver and showed him how to hold the onion and move his fingers. And he would do his onion for his burger. And it would get his eyes. And I showed him how to use the water. Some people turn on the water. And so I'm so proud of him because he can cut his own onion. Or now we grate it if he wants to. But he learned the old-fashioned way to cut his own onion.
Then I learned the modern way.
Then his like, you mean you made me do that, and then I could just grate it?
Yeah, but you want to know which way I liked better? The old-fashioned way, 'cause
Yeah,
it's better.
you lose all the juice when you grate it.
Yeah.
And so he makes his onion. And the second thing, I'm proud of him for a lot of things because he will not overcook meat. I
Yeah.
mean, he cooks it rare, a touch rare, or else just barely
You want to
done.
know how I like my steak? This is for all of y'all. This is how I like my steak. Oh, so there's different categories. There's literally just cut up and didn't even cook at all, which is literally raw. And then they have rare, then they have medium well, they have medium rare, medium well done, burnt. And but the way that I like mine the most is medium well, because it's in between uh um rare um and well done. It's between both of those. And
Right.
it's got a perfect touch of pink in it, which is how I like my steak. And it's kind of soft still. It's like real
Juicy.
tender and juicy, and it's perfect.
Right. And so he does not like to come to the table to eat anything if it's not spiced enough. He will taste test and make sure that he gets his spice right. And we have to do a shout out to Trader Joe's because when we go to Trader Joe's, we get like 15 bottles of.
Trader Joe's, can you please be a sponsor of today's live stream, please?
The Trader Joe's products are really great, but we like the one this season. That it's kind of like they just took the bowl and just poured all the 21 spices together and shook them up. I kind of do that with my barbecue. I just like take everything and just start seasoning from the heart, and I get a bowl and I start mixing everything in there. You know, every color and kind of pepper and all the different onions and all the different paprikas because when you're doing paprikas, there's more than one kind because you can get the smoked and the red and the real and the El Cheapo. It's just literally a whole thing of
El
pepper.
Cheapo. I wonder what the El Cheapo is.
It's a filler, I think. I think it's just colored. But we like that, and we like to finish it off with a touch of of, of sugar, brown sugar. We do like a little touch of brown sugar in our barbecue spice. And so we will spice both sides very heavy and rub it in. And I don't think the rest of the family appreciates that much spice, but we
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, well, we're getting pretty much to the end of this, so we're gonna have to wrap it up real quickly. So here we go. So I wanted to make this video to talk about how far our channel has come. Like we've reached 97 subscribers, and we're so close to 100. Like we're just so close. Like bro, we're 3 away.
So we're hoping for those three
Yeah,
to
yeah,
get here.
yeah, but and I'm very thankful for all of y'all like that are here that are currently watching this, which is 0 people.
Yeah, people
Nobody's.
that like to be themselves that they don't put
Yep,
on.
0. You see that? That's how many people are watching it. Nobody.
But somebody will watch it at some point. You know, maybe not live, but you did it does re-showed on it. Did it come? It'll re-show, right?
Hmm? Hold up. Alright, there we go. So yeah. As I was saying, uh we've came so far, and I'm gonna be so happy for Cooking with Eli season 2, which it might not be coming this year, but it might be coming the end of next year, because like all of that stuff that I was talking about at the beginning of the video, the flood, her how she's getting sick because of her 3 concussions and her TIAs and stuff, and like all of that, like that's pushing back on how soon it's gonna come, but it's coming.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that we're getting it all in the past, and with this one, uh, encouraging me
Yeah.
and being right here and coming and never giving up on me. He's gotten me out of the bed. He's gotten me through therapies. He's gotten me cooking, and so I've come a long way back. I would say I'm not 100%, but I'm on my way, and I want to live to have that one. Use that those fryers and things, and do our Thanksgiving turkey, and our Christmas
Yeah.
and our Christmas meat. I don't know. We're
But
gonna do
yeah.
something off the wall.
But yeah.
We'll let
I'm
the grown ups do the
yeah.
traditional stuff, and we'll do the fun stuff. And we have 2 or 3 types of fryers. We'll let him experience all of them, just for the fun of it. Because, hey, you're never too old to teach a dog new tricks. You just have to have an
Oh
old
yeah.
dog teach
Oh
an
yeah.
older.
You want to hear a funny line that I said yesterday? It's very funny, but it's it what was it? A young dog can't teach an old dog new tricks. Is that what it was?
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah.
But an older
Dog
dog,
can teach a young dog new tricks.
right? But yeah,
And but the only thing that can teach an older dog new tricks is an older dog, but an older dog can teach a younger dog new tricks.
but that's all right, because you might not can teach me new tricks, but you can teach me different ones because the world's changing every day, and it's a pleasure every time I
Yeah.
see you because I think the greatest thing is that you said, "Mama,
But it's crazy how
I
far the earth has come. They got robots in Japan. Almost every single car brand's going electric. You want to know something? Most of the semis have already gone electric. But you see, at one point the Earth's gonna run out of fossil fuels and stuff. So I'm kind of happy that like we're getting a head start with the cars going electric and stuff, because fossil fuels is actually what we use to make gasoline and diesel and stuff. And at one point we're going to run out of fossil fuels to make and so we're ahead of like what's going to happen, cuz like if we didn't like invent new ways to power vehicles and stuff like that, like like you know
right. Well, look at the air fryer. Who knew you could fry with air?
for
Just a few
real.
years ago, it was like I remember the first time I heard of an air fryer, I laughed. Like frying with air, right? You know, and now I have at least 3 air fryers and one in my main stove. Okay, it came with it, and it's awesome. We air fry more than anything.
Yeah.
And my husband told his sister, they're like he's 75 and she's 80, and she's recently widowed in Canada. And he told her, he said, you could throw your stove out and just get an air fryer because they're a lot more fun. And it's less cleanup, and you'll really love it, because living where it snows a lot, where you can't always depend on having electricity, and having an electric stove doesn't really work in Canada. And he was like, well, you can run your air fryer with your with your solar panel, because it doesn't take anything, and that's true. We need to put an air fryer out in our uh, our off the grid kitchen, because the electricity is going to be off grid. Everything's going to be off grid, because we're not putting anything conventional in it that, like from the house. We don't want anything that's connected to the house
Yeah.
in our kitchen. And so we're hoping to finish up the inside of the house, just unpacking it. We've decided to pack and unpack, and things that we're packing we never expect to use, but don't have the heart to throw away. And so we've gone to that, and then we're that way we won't be running over totes and things. But one thing we'll never put away, and that's the any of the videos of Eli, because
Yeah.
he's the love of our life right now.
The,
Until he has children, and then we can spoil them, and that's a few years away. We hoping a good many years away,
at least 7.
at least 7. Yeah, because everybody,
Yeah.
marries by
That our
18.
our family has a history of getting married kind of early, like
I
1926.
know. I was married at 16, and
But you want to know something though? My dad's mom, though, she waited a very long time to have kids. Granny, she waited until she was like 30 or 40.
I know she was 38 when Edward was born.
Yeah, 'cause my dad's 41.
Yeah,
He's
and
turning 42 actually.
yeah,
How
in
tall is
November.
he now?
Is it November?
Yeah, I think.
One of them's birthday is in November.
Yeah, it's my dad's
Well,
birthday's in
I was
November.
married at 16, and I roamed the world until 2 weeks after I was 19. Daryl was born, but he was like 7 weeks early. And so I would have been married like 3 years when he was born. And but he couldn't wait to get here. He just couldn't wait. And ever since then, everybody's been like Daryl. The next generations, they just couldn't wait to grow up. They couldn't wait to have kids. They couldn't wait to live. So, and he's on the road again. And right now, he's right back where you always go. In this family, we always return to the place that we're either born or spend our youth. And when he was a week old, and well, a week out of the hospital, we flew to Ohio, because his biological father had a job in just out of Dayton, Ohio, and we flew there, and it was we stayed there from May. He was born in May. He was born May the 12th, and we
Yeah, which is actually the day after Mother's Day.
right, and so I was April 30th. I turned 19, and he was born May 12th, and so we stayed there until the end of August, and we came home because they had snowflakes on the end of August. He was still on 2-hour feedings when we left, so right now he's in Ohio and probably killing deer up there this year,
Yeah, but I really want to go up there to Ohio with them to go hunting.
because they don't have to build uh, uh, these off the ground things to hunt in Ohio. I think they hunt right on the ground, don't they?
I don't know.
I think they hunt on the ground more in Ohio. When I was there, that was what they did uh, in that particular place, because they already
But
had.
yeah, the thing is, though, from here to Ohio, that's what, like a 2-day car ride?
Oh God, it's forever and then
But
2 days.
you want to know something funny about them car rides? The last 30 minutes of them car rides are are like the longest time. It feels like 12 years. The last 30 minutes
What
feels
do
like
you
12
mean?
years.
You know what was happening when we came home?
What?
Camille was hitting uh, the Gulf Coast, Hurricane Camille,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then when Brittany was born, your mom, 5 of her birthdays.
Had hurricanes,
Yeah, she's born on
and
the
I could
31st
name
of August.
yeah,
Yes.
and I can name one of the deadliest ones, which was the one that I remember her talking about the most was Gustav.
Yeah. Gustav, we spent Gustav here, and people, when they think of Louisiana, they think of Katrina, and Katrina was bad. I was in New
Katrina,
Orleans
yeah,
when Katrina hit, and it was bad.
yeah, it was
And
taking down houses,
yes,
house. It was taking down houses. That it was destroying four
we
walls.
got out of the West Bank on Sunday evening at dark, and we were pulling a 40-foot camper with a triple slide, and your grandpa was hit something with his dually. Well, it wasn't a dually. He had the 2500, the Dodge 2500 instead of the 3500, and I had to go. It broke the transmission lines, and I had to go get cases of transmission fluid, and he had to keep tie 'em up and keep pumping that in. And we got to this property. We bought this property, and it was trees, and we got to this property about 10 o'clock on that night that Camille was hitting. And it was bad. It was really bad. And rode out that night. And then we went to Opelousas. And then Hurricane Ruby hit 2 weeks later. We were still here. We came back here and it hit here. But it wasn't near as bad as Gustav. Gustav was terrible.
Yeah, that was
Straight
on.
line winds. This this house was being built in the wooded area, and it was trees. It was trees being blown down everywhere. And Hurricane Ida reminded me of it. The walls shook, and tornadoes came, and Doug had never heard of tornado, and he fell asleep, and he woke up, and he went, "Gosh, when did they move the railroad tracks?" I could swear I heard the railroad tracks behind the
The
house.
people say that that a tornado sound like trains, but I don't really think it sounds like
To him,
trains. It might sound like that to some people, but I actually been in a tornado. This was actually pretty recently, a few months ago. I was up in Mississippi, and I got a tornado warning, and I told Mama Sam, and she was like, "Ah, it's probably nothing." And then a few minutes later, the wind was howling real bad, and I was like, "Oh no, I left my shoes outside." And I was like, "Them things gonna fly away." Those my expensive, uh, sandals that I got. These aren't the ones, but the ones that I had but they were
oh
Nikes, but
yeah,
these
we
aren't
went.
the ones. Those black and white, but these are all black. I actually got these a few weeks ago.
Yeah, we
But
went to
anyways,
Tanger.
I went out there and I grabbed one of them, and then the other one was flying away, and I was trying to grab it, and I finally got it. And whenever I went to go inside, a tornado, a tornado was coming, and it blew the camper door shut, and I couldn't get in. And so I was just holding on to the camper trying to get in, but I couldn't get in, and I finally got in, and it was real bad. And so we left the camper. We got out the camper, and we all got inside the truck, and we waited for it to pass, but we couldn't go nowhere because there was like seven tornadoes and those in all directions. So it's just stuck right there by the camper.
Well, I have been in your great great grandmother's big bathtub with your grandpa
Oh
when
yeah,
he
I
was
remember.
5 years old, and
Yeah,
tornadoes were coming, and we
yeah,
were
I remember that. You
eh,
told me about that.
and JB, his friend was up stuck out in the barn, and he was trying to get to the house, and
And a
scared.
tornado picked him up a few like was it 100 feet in the air?
And he brought him toward the house, but we didn't know it until afterwards. And he was in the middle of their property, and he just laid down in a little sink in their property, and we were in the bathtub, and we rode it out. But I've rode them out in a ditch when I was little, and I've been in a lot of them. I've been on the interstate when they came, been in houses when we were building a house once, and we were in a trailer beside the house, and the walls were just sucking in and going out, and everybody was like, "We're gonna die, we're gonna die." And then one time we were coming back from the Bahamas, and it knocked the lights out, and the kids were on the plane, and they were going, "We're gonna die, we're gonna die." And when we landed in New Orleans, they missed the runway, and we were in the field of water, and it was going squash squash all the way into the airport. It was so strange. So we've had a lot of experiences with
Yeah,
the
I've
tornadoes.
been through I've been through two snowstorms, a hurricane, a tornado. I've been through one time whenever I was in Mississippi, we had they had golf ball sized hail.
Mhm. Or what about the time you was about 2 years old and you just play, I'm praying for snow. I'm
Oh,
praying for
I
snow.
prayed for snow. Then the next day we got 7 inches.
And then you got,
That was
and then you
2017.
you got your gloves wet, and
Oh no, I don't like it anymore. So I prayed for it to stop, and
you
it
said, oh,
stopped.
okay, okay, Lord, that's enough snow. Please stop it.
And it stopped. But but I've been through it all pretty much. But uh
Will you ever leave Louisiana? Probably. Will you come back? It's a given. I was my first week in California. It was an earthquake, and like it's always something bad. My first week somewhere, but when I come back to Louisiana, bad things happen. Bad things happened here, and but you just want to be. Your heart's here, Your people are here. You wanna be where you just have that urge to be. Certain people like us, you just want to be where your family has hunted and fished and killed deer and everything. Our family arrived in Louisiana in 1790. Our up the line grandfather was given a land grant by the Queen of Spain, and he was in the Canary Islands in the military, and he did something for her that she gave him a land grant, a huge land grant. Back in those days, land was like worth a quarter acre, and it went from like almost New Orleans to way to Donaldsonville, and of course during the troubled times the in America, he lost more and more of it to taxes and different things. But we've survived a lot as a family, but we're not broken. We're still a family,
yeah.
and we still love the things that brought us here and kept us here and brings us back here. Is the love of family, the love of good food, the love of the land, and
Yeah, no, yeah, but oh, the food here is very good. I saw a recipe on a Facebook that I'd like to try. I forget what it's called, but it's so good. I'm pretty sure you might have seen it, but it was where he did all of this stuff. He put a whole bunch of seasonings and stuff in it, and he made a whole bunch of, and it was some fish, crawfish, shrimp, and all types of rice, and he made his own gravy and stuff.
was it more like a gravy or more like a gumbo or more like
More
a?
like a gravy. But the food here is very good.
I mean, so many things that has so many bad sounding names. Like I know when I was growing up, my dad would eat this stuff. It was like couvion.
Never even had that. I don't even know what
I
that
never
is.
heard of couvion. It is spelled like court bouillon or something like that. But and old people make it out of fish, and they never open the pot. Once they put everything in it, they never open it. They never stir it. They don't do anything. They put everything in it that they gonna put in it, and that's it. And we put it on low, and they put the lid in it on it, and when it's cooked, they eat it. And it is when you grow up, it's the best stuff. Now I make the white or the red. I like the white better. It's a it's a lot of people say the white is not true, but I think true is what you want to do. Your recipe should be your recipe, and you should never. To me, my opinion about food is this: don't eat a recipe that you hate because somebody else liked it and cooked it and decided that that was the way it should be.
Yeah.
Now, if they made it like I remember when blackened redfish came out, and you couldn't always get redfish, and sometimes we make it with a different fish, and I've made it even with like catfish, and some people say, well, that's not true. Well, true is what's true to you, and whatever you like is what you should do with food. And since this is basically about food, I think we always do what we like with food, don't you?
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
one thing that I want to say is since I'm about to have to go home because it's almost time to visit my granny. But I was raised wild. Like whenever I was little, my papa would always take me to Yogi Bear. We'd go hunting and fishing and do all of those different things. And he would go and they went a lot and they did a lot of things before I was born too. Like my papa went to Death. My papa and my mom and them and y'all went to Death Valley or whatever, which is like the hottest place on the earth. And they also been to the coldest place on the earth, which was Alaska, which was also before I was alive.
well, it may not be the coldest place on earth, but it's pretty cold.
Yeah.
Well, I like to say Doug is from the north, the extreme north. He's
He's
from
from
British Columbia.
Canada
He's from the
and
top
them.
of British Columbia, and I'm from the south of the United States. So chances of us meeting was very slim. But he's embraced the food here. He loves it.
Yeah. And still to this day he don't know what he likes more, the her or the food.
Probably the food. Well, it's been great being on here.
Yeah.
I hope you invite me back again, and I hope we have some new adventures this year.
Yeah.
And I hope to be with you.
Yeah.
Even
Hopefully this year I'm gonna be able to go up to Ohio and kill me a big deer.
I hope so.
A buck, 6 pointer,
I,
7 pointer, 9 pointer, 1 million pointer.
I hope so. I hope we're getting to line dance or go to
Yeah.
the crawfish festival in Bro Bridge, or are we getting to do something great? Or what
Yeah.
we would think great. I mean, we've been to great things together. Like we went to Disney together, and
I remember that. I went to the Disney in Florida, which got closed down because of alligators and crocodiles.
well, we had fun.
Yeah, and I didn't get chopped up by an alligator.
And your
Excuse
dad
me.
not your dad said, "Mama Carol." That's what he used to call me. He said, "Mama Carol, let's get at the front." We were going through this wild thing that's on this
This boat ride, and
yeah.
that'd go like 300 miles per hour, and water would fling up 100 feet in the air,
Yeah,
and it would
somebody.
come back down, and it would hit your face.
And I think he took you, and we got on
Yeah,
the
I
first.
remember it.
We
We was
was
on the front of the boat and we was going really fast. I was over here holding on the boat like I was hanging on for dear life.
I think you were between us, Everett and me, and you were like right there, and
Yeah,
so
but
you
I
couldn't get out, and you was holding on, and he had you one way, and I had you the other way, and water was flinging on us, and it was so wild, and just when it would stop, we had hit the next one,
yeah,
and but you didn't
but
cry.
yeah, I loved it, and to this day I still like crazy boat rides. Whenever I'm on the boat with my papa, you want to know something? One time he took me fishing for 10 hours straight, and I was tired, I was hungry, and everything, and so he made us a whole bunch of hot dogs, and he was like, "All right, we're about to go home." So and we're about to go home in another 10 hours, so you might, and then so yeah, you're gonna want to eat this, and we're gonna continue fishing for a longer time. And so I was like, and so I ate 7 hot dogs, and then he was like, well, I'm getting kind of tired. Let's go home. And then he was like, well, before we go home, we're gonna go on a boat ride. Then he went 36 miles per hour, and I almost threw up everywhere.
Well, I grew up going to that place where he took you, and it's fun.
What, Lake Manchac?
Uh-huh.
Over there, like Pontchartrain, like Moorpaws, and them places.
Yeah, and they have a great place to eat there. One day you need to go. Maybe I'll get
Yeah.
well enough to take you.
Yeah.
And they cut the fish so thin, and you think it's not going to be good. But they cut the fish so thin that you promise you it looks like it has only one side. But it's good. It really is. It's
Yeah.
delicious.
Well, I'm about to have to go home because it's getting late. So yeah, that's about it for today's video. Adios, amigo.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, bye. Bye, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.
How do I stop it?